Hello, 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 everyone. It's Kim from K&RP here in southeastern Manitoba. Today it is smoky as bejeez out there. We actually have a air quality of 6, which is brutal. It's supposed to get worse overnight. 28 degrees with the humidex, that's Celsius, and that means it's 82 degrees Fahrenheit. It is. It would be a lovely day if it wasn't for the smoke. We might be getting a little bit of rain. I don't know what's going to happen. It's weather, right? All we can do is complain and nobody listens, anyways. Welcome, Belinda. How are you today? I figure we're going to do. I've got so many ugly gel prints, and so I figured let's try and make one into a masterboard today, and then I'll cut it up to do tags. I'm good today, thanks. Hiding in the house. Um, this gel print I do like. This is botanicals. I pulled a bunch of leaves out of the garden and did that one. This is just plain. These all need a little bit of something. But I'm looking for one that I consider ugly. One that's, you know, I will definitely find something that we will play with today. Could do something like this. Oh, look, I've got plain paper in here. This is from when I was saying that the blah 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 blah. The printing company in the local city was selling sheets for 10 cents a sheet, and I stocked up. I still have a few left. Now this is ugly. This is something that could be done with. I did a painty paper on a catalog thing. I'll put those that to the side. I want to use a limited amount of colors. More gel prints. This one's fun. That one I would just use as it is. This one could use something drastic. That's on cardstock. This one could use something. This one can use something. Those other ones I think are okay. I would use them as they are without having to do too much to them. So I've got these ones. Oh, every other day rain. So this one actually has some metallics on it. It's kind of nice, but I don't know. And this one is more on the red side. I think I'm going to put that to the side. Okay, so I pulled out, I have acrylic paint. Let's put some glasses on so I can read it. It's a Grumbacher Pearl Violet, and it gives a really nice sheen. So I pulled that out. I've got a blue because I figured I would use blue, purple, and a metallic white. I do have a gold here as well. I'm not thinking I'm going to use that. I did pull out a piece of napkin. I've ripped the straight edges off pretty much for that. And I did pull out a piece of purple tissue paper. So let's start and rip up some napkin and we'll put it down. Hey, Anne, welcome, welcome. I want to use up some of these ugly gel prints. So I pulled out some napkin. I've taken off the backs. I just want, and I'm just using blue, white, and purple on these. So how are you today, Anne? What have you been up to? I'm not sure what I want to do with this one, but these other two, I'm going to do kind of the same. I'm going to put this one to the side too, because I'm not sure what I want to do with that. But I'll do these two. I'll do the same kind of treatments on both of these, because I'm not very fond of either of them. They would make lovely flowers, yes, but I'm not. I've got lots of stuff to make flowers out of. I'm looking more for tag backgrounds right now. So I am going just to take some glue. Oh, yeah, great fun. Well, it's important to get done, right? So I'm just going to put some paint, glue down, and put strips of. The reason I am using white glue and not Mod Podge is because why? I don't. My Mod Podge is a gloss. I'm not looking for gloss just yet. So a little bit under and a little bit over. So I'm just putting down some napkin, blue and white napkin. It's got a bit of a pattern. Well, it's got a lot of pattern, but like I say, I'm just looking to make some tag backgrounds out of ugly gel prints. So we're going to try and pretty it up as best we can. Again, I'm just using my regular glue that I use, the Elmer's Glue All. So I don't know if I want to use these as ATC backgrounds, maybe. Definitely, I would like to get some tags. Not that I'm running low on tags, but I like to have a good buildup of tags. I don't want to put too much of this down, just so that there's bits of it that could be on each page, each piece I cut. Gotta pretty up these ugly gel prints, right? I don't know about you guys, but I have quite a few of them. Things that didn't come out quite the way I'd anticipated, but that's totally fine. Not everything has to be perfect the first time you do it, right? We all know that. I really kind of like this against this background. Oh, it's okay if you get some wrinkles in it. Just adds to the texture. So that's already changed the look of this print. It's given it a little bit more interest. We'll do the same with this print. Yeah, you can use glue stick if that's what you have and you would like. I'm just using what I have. You guys know the way I roll. Oh, put a hole in that one. That's okay. Yeah. Hey, Sherry, welcome, welcome. How are ya? I am just trying to fix some ugly prints. I'm just adding some napkin. I've decided I'm just using purple, white, and blue. Got a green circle on this. That's okay. I'm going to ignore that. So I'm just gluing down some napkin. I also have some purple tissue paper I'm going to put down. This one actually has quite a bit of turquoise in it. Well, let's do it right side up. You know, I bet you if I put it upside down, that would look actually pretty good too, because then it would be muted, right? Okay, now I want to find another one and do it with upside down. Okay. Right side up on these two. Let's pull one more ugly print. I know I've got another ugly purple print. We can use this one. We'll use this one. It's very plain, pretty boring. It's good for backgrounds, vases, you know. but I'm hoping to get master boards out of these. So this one, I'm going to use the same stuff, but I'm going to put the stuff upside down. Let's get some more glue. More smoke. Yeah, I know. This is from the Northwest Territories and the Northern Prairies, evidently. So I don't know. I don't know what's happening to our world. There's going to be nothing left to burn soon. Nothing at all. So when you're putting this down, you don't have to have an exact rhyme or reason to where it goes, because when we cut them, we're going to flip them upside down. We're going to trim all the white off. Then we're going to flip them upside down and cut them so that we don't know what the heck we're cutting. Yeah, I'm avoiding the smoke too. I had a doctor's appointment for tomorrow morning, but I canceled it because there's no way I'm going to be out there to drive that length of time to get to the doctor's. Crazy. It's just crazy out there. I don't know. I don't know what we're doing to our world, guys. I just don't know. Let's do one big one right in the middle at the bottom here. Start to cover up this green. That's okay. So some of these will have some of this napkin on it. Some of them won't. That's fine. Absolutely fine. I have a vision. We'll see if my vision comes to fruition. Ooh, big words today, guys. Big words. All's good. Okay. So again, that has totally changed the look of this. That's what we're looking for. Now this one, I was going to put these on upside down. This is a piece of cardstock that I had actually, this is not a pull per se. This is stamp offs of what I was doing. Like you can see that I used plastic canvas for the grid work. I used my circles, so I was obviously doing something and was using this as a stamp off page. I don't know, I kind of like them bolder than this. That's okay. We'll see what happens, right? We're experimenting. There's nothing that can go wrong. If I don't like them, I'll turn them into something else. You know that. They can become Kimbits of something. Vision and fruition. Yep. So I was playing earlier. Surprise! And what was I doing? Oh, I don't know how it started, but I started adding I was doing painted paper master boards is what I was starting with on a couple of prints that needed something. So I was stenciling and that kind of thing, just with some acrylic paints. And then, of course, I'd taken out way too much paint. So I had to use it up on different things. So there I am with all my journals open and I'm doodling with my paint on different pages. And it's bad when you don't want to waste anything, you know? But it's a good thing that you have 900 projects going, because then you got someplace to put them, right? Wow. Doing this goes through a lot of glue. This too is the Elmer's glue all. It's in a Crayola bottle, but this is what I use for refilling occasionally, or if I need lots at a time, like this. Hey, Malia, welcome, welcome. Yeah. Wrapping paper. I've used wrapping paper too. Um, I find that with the gloss, sometimes this Elmer's glue just doesn't do it. Does not cut it. Malia, I watched your video on your scrapbook doings. What a great idea to use a phone book that way. I just use flyers, but 'cause we haven't had phone books here for a long time. I'm just trying to fancy up some of my not so fancy painty papers, trying to make them a little bit more interesting. So these two, I'm only using purple, blue, and white today. So on these two, I put the napkin right side up, so there's a deeper punch of color, which I really like. And this one, I decided to put it on upside down. And then, like I say, I'm going to, once they're done, I'm going to flip them over and we're going to cut cards. And oops, that's a little close. That's okay. I don't care. Let's use this little one up here. So again, this is just my Elmer's glue all that I'm using. And maybe up there somewhere. They're not going every which way the way I really wanted them to. That's awesome though, Malia. Like, I mean, you use that stuff. And that's important. Use it up. Okay. Yeah, it's going to hang off the edge. Okay. We can address that later. There. So I've got napkin down. Now I'm going to pull this. I've got this purple tissue paper. We're going to rip some. Yeah. I like stuff with thin paper. Don't want this hard edge, so I'm just going to rip right down that edge. Still gives a pretty hard, it's not as shabby as I would like. Okay, we'll just make these into like shabby kind of big fat ones compared to the long skinny bits of napkin. Yeah, that makes sense that it doesn't bulk up much. I like that idea. So I'm doing all three of these with the same techniques: napkin, tissue, stencil, maybe, or some sort of stampy kind of thing. I don't know how much I need. I'm just tearing. Just tearing. Whoop. Get rid of this little bit. Garbage. It's in the garbage. Okay, so I think I started with this one. Let's start with this one. Wow, Kim. It's flying everywhere. Nice thing about tissue paper is it's so translucent. You're still going to see the stuff underneath, but it's going to be not as in your face. It's okay if it bubbles up a little bit. It just adds that little bit of texture and a little bit more interest. It's okay if it rips. We're just having fun here. Just having fun. Using up stuff that is kicking around the house. That one seems to have a hard edge. I'm going to have to do something about that. But again, the tissue paper too just adds a little bit. It's going to add that little bit of depth because you'll see what's underneath it. But you guys know this stuff because you guys do this too. I know. I've seen you guys. bet you that's not underneath, is it? Nope. Look, peel it up, stick it down. There we go. You can tell if you don't have glue underneath your tissue paper because it's not as translucent. I have so many old magazines and stuff from the 70s and 80s. I'm thinking maybe I'll start chopping them up and getting rid of them pages at a time. Of course, mainly woodworking ones and do it yourself kind of magazines. All right. So already this one is starting to look a little bit better. I might have to rip some more tissue. And again, I am just putting them down randomly. I have no rhyme or reason how I'm putting them. They're just going down. Can't really see that, but that's okay. Need some more glue. I buy this glue by the gallon. The prices down where you guys are is so much better than what I can get it for here. When my sister was doing a lot of traveling, I would get her to pick stuff up for me if it was on sale where she was going to be. But she's not motorhoming and traveling quite as much anymore. So then I just have to watch for sales on Amazon, of course. I was thinking of doing, like, I've got all those old craft magazines from the 80s, like, and maybe do a throwback Thursday kind of thing where pull out one of those old craft magazines and then we make something from it. But of course, that wouldn't be until the fall when there's even less to do outside, or there is less to do outside. You know what I mean? One little piece over there, and I think I will call this one napkined and tissue papered. Of course, you can use book pages, you can use pattern pieces, you can use whatever your heart desires, whatever you happen to have. I've got oodles of tissue paper and napkins. Now I'll put some on this one. Old craft magazines like Good Housekeeping, McCall's. I used to have stacks and stacks. I gave a bunch away a while ago years ago, to a lady who was doing a lot of knitting. I wasn't knitting at that time. I was doing more carving. Um, Knitting, crochet, macrame, that kind of stuff. Like oldies but goodies. I really do like the way that this one's looking with the tissue on. Use it or lose it series, that could be fun. I mean, some of the crafts in there, I there's no way that I would still do, but it would be fun to flip through and chat about and maybe, try some of the strange things. Hey, Cal, welcome, welcome. Yep, good housekeeping McCall's way back. Yep, that's what I've got. Lots and lots of that. Just trying to use up some ugly prints, Cal. Try to make them into something a little bit more of what I would like to use. So I'm doing 3 different prints. I'm using the same things on each print. So I'm using napkin, like this blue and white napkin, and purple tissue paper. And these are the 3 prints I'm trying to salvage. Those are exactly the magazines that I'm talking about. Exactly. So I don't have as many as I used to have. Like I say, I got rid of quite a few. But I still think a Throwback Thursday doing some old knitting patterns or crochet or macrame, I think we could have some fun, especially if we looked at it and we discussed it and decided how we could use it in our mixed media somehow different. You know what I mean? That the ads are the best. They really are. I've got quite a few magazines from the 50s as well, but they're like um, Popular Mechanics. Um, yeah. They're all sitting in stacks over there on the other side of the room, stacks on the floor. So I think that, like I say, I'd like to take them apart and just sell them in bits because I'm sure that nobody really wants a whole magazine, but they wouldn't mind having a couple of pages to use in a journal. Let's see, is there anywhere else I want to throw this last little piece? What about right here-ish? Right there-ish. Right there-ish. Last of the glue. All right. All right. So we've got these 3 to this stage. Let's rinse this. Popular Mechanics, yeah. How you feeling today, Cal? Doing good? I know that last Tuesday you got smacked by a migraine, so you couldn't go live. Let's hope that got the majority of the glue out. This is one of my ugly brushes. I just use it for decoupage and glue. I don't use it for paint because it's a hog's hair bristle and it's a little rough, so it doesn't go as smooth for paint as one would like. Okay, so I said we're using blue, pearl purple, and metallic white. So I'm going to take this blue and I am going to use my little polka dot stencil. And we're going to make polka dots. Let's find a clean spot on this lid here. I have a stencil brush. Oh, good. Nice. That's awesome. So this is the first one I started. I still see a little bit of damp spots with the glue, but that's just fine. I'm still going to just And I know that you're not going to be able to see these circles on some of that blue. It's just going to be very, very subtle. We're just trying to make these into something that could be just a little bit more fun. Or a little bit more usable, depending on how you want to look at it. What kind of spices go in your chicken veggie slow cooker recipe? Oh, nice, Malia. I haven't dehydrated anything for a couple of years. I usually do apples because I get so many crazy apples. This year I've got a lot of apples on the tree. But I want to put a couple of pies in the freezer, and I like using apple chunks in my smoothies. So a lot of times I just freeze them, like peel them, chop them, freeze them, so I can put them in smoothies. This is a piece of bright yellow file folder. You are right. And it's just, I was punching out holes for flowers. So I saved these and then I just use them as little mini stencils so that if I'm doing something like this, or if I've got a journal page, I actually was using this stencil with blue this morning. Um, so just a bit of decoration if I've got leftover paint. Oh, so it's like a sweet and sour? Oh, that would be lovely. Absolutely lovely. So yeah, I just use it for this kind of thing. So you can see the dots a little bit. They're not swearing at anybody. I think I'm going to just let this one dry now. We'll add to this one now. And it's okay if they're together and blobby because this is still just going to be a background for tags, right? I just want it to be that little bit more interesting. You don't have to get every single hole. You can get partial holes, whatever. Just play, guys. We're just playing, right? And up here some. My husband is not a big fan of pineapple in cooked things. It's fine if you barbecue the pineapple, like if you soak it in rum and then throw it on the barbecue with some brown sugar. But he doesn't have it on pizza or sweet and sour. So I don't do that very often. I do it if I've got my kids coming over because my kids will eat it. But that's okay because he's not really picky. I can get away with making a pot of soup and he doesn't mind that if that's for supper. All right, what do you think? I think I like this one much better as well. Yeah, it sounds good. Sounds awesome. Yeah, it is. I'll use a sponge, but I do have stencil brushes, so I was using it this morning, so it's handy for me right now. So I'm going to leave this one as it is, put this to dry. Now we'll do this one. Oh, this one's very wet. That was a very wet blob of glue there. That's okay. Whoop. Thanks. You know, you just have to play, guys. We know that. You just have to play. And I like the way that this turned out with the napkin upside down, so it's not as punchy on this one. Hey, Joni, welcome, welcome. I'm trying to embellish some ugly gel prints today. So then I'm going to do this stuff, and then I'm going to cut them into tags. Oh, I don't know if I want to go over that wet glue just yet. Not just yet. So I'm just using a piece of file folder that I had cut circles out of when I was making little yellow flowers for one of my... So I have used the gel print, tissue paper, and napkin. I've done 3 different gel prints or painty papers. I'm not even sure what. I think they're all gel prints. But again, simple things, homemade stencil out of hole punched paper. It works. Wow, guys, you know what? I should have only done half a page and you could have seen the before and after. Hi, Shaz, welcome. Trying to pretty up some ugly gel print. I really do like these blue dots on this one. I think that's good. No, I think I want some right here. So this is just a piece of yellow file folder. I punched out yellow circles for flowers. And yeah, I've got paint on my hands. Sorry if that's going to bother anyone. Okay, so we've got the 3 to this stage. We had the gel print. We put on the napkin. And then we put on the tissue paper. And then we did the dots. The dots aren't as visible on this one, but they're there. More visible on this one. And definitely more visible on this one. All right. So as I said, I'm only using white, this pearl purple, and metallic white. So this metallic white, I am actually going to use a floral stencil and go over everything with the metallic white. This, I am just going to take a brush and just stroke all over the place. Does that make sense? And then we're going to see what they look like. Just having a slurp of tea. Excuse me a moment. So, what ATC number are you on this day, Joni? Joni's doing 100 ATCs. This is very old paint. It is boogerty. Oh my, is it boogerty. Well, that's going to add texture, let me tell you. I'm going to take this brush that I used in the glue and see if I can make for a little bit of mush. Like I say, I'm just going to take it and do purple. Swatches. And because it's a pearl, it's got that metallic-y kind of finish. Whoa, big blob there. That's okay. It's usually very, very translucent, but it's got that wonderful metallic-y. But as I say, this is old, so it's thick. Can you see the shine on that? $55? Awesome. Her ATCs are gorgeous. So that's what I'm going to do with this paint on all three of them. I am going to thin it down a little bit because, my goodness, that's just too many boogers. This one I'm pretty much going to coat the whole thing with it, but very, very thin. Again, we're just looking for some depth. Oh, I don't want the blue in there. Again, I'm just looking for that bit of a shine. That glue is still very wet. I got very carried away there. I admit it. This one, I am just going to do blue blobbies. Blue? These are purple. Never mind, I lied again. No, purple blobs of the purple paint. Love some alliteration. Seriously, when I started, these gel prints looked nothing like this. But that's okay. They were pretty ugly. Now I think that they've got some interest to them. I will be much happier using them. Good afternoon, Janet. Nice to see you. I am just trying to resurrect some ugly painty papers, is what I'm doing. Next time I do this, I'm only going to do half a page, I've decided, so that you can see the before and after. So this is the first one I did. I used pearl purple, so it's got a nice purpley pearl shine to it. This one I did the whole thing. I watered it down. And this one I just blobbed the paint on. I like that. I really like that as it is now. I could probably just use it as it is, but I still want to put this metallic white on because that was the plan, is to use this metallic white, but I want to put it through a stencil. Now we just need to decide what kind of stencil we want. What else have I got? What else have I got? Okay. Got some stencils here. I've got paint all over my hands. I'm just moving these to the side so that I can pull out these stencils and we can decide what. That's a purchase stencil, those ones. I have hearts and hexagons. I've got all my flowers. If I took my flowers and I just threw them on the page, just randomly threw them on the page, and then used my brayer and that metallic white, I think that could be lovely. Maybe that might work. I've got butterflies. This one is a lovely one. I might put this one over an entire piece. I've got lattice work. But I think that would just be too heavy on top. I've got a bunch of ovals and things. Snowflakes. I'm looking more for, I might just use these and a stencil brush instead of the brayer. That way I can have just the flowers and not the whole background done, if that makes sense. And because it's tags and things, I don't think I want anything too big. I think I'm going to be using like the little ones. Bye, Anne. Thanks for popping in. Good luck. Something like that. Just, randomly on the page, and then I can move them and do them more. There's another small one. Where are my other ones? They're someplace on my desk, but that's okay. We can start with these. We could do these for sure. So this is an Artist's Loft acrylic metallic white. Okay, how dry are you? This one isn't quite dry, but let's try one and see what happens. I think I want to. I could also wipe it on this and do like a honeycomb. Oh, now I'm torn. I'm going to do a honeycomb on this one. And oh dear. Now what? Now what? Now what? How about I'm just getting another lid. Sorry, guys. Go through lids like crazy. So now I'm wondering if I just did a honeycomb on top of this one. That way it's a very neutrally background. The flowers, I think, are more of a focus kind of thing. Let's try the honeycomb on this one, because this one's got some really thick purple mess on because that paint was so thick. So this is metallic white. How wet are you? You were pretty wet. Pretty darn wet. So I hope I'm not boring you guys too much. I'm just kind of having fun and playing. Thanks to you guys all for being here. And so this is a pot holder thing, a silicone pot holder thing, but it's got just a lovely hexagon pattern to it. Oh, yeah. Look. I like it. I really like it. So I'm just going to put that on here randomly. Just scribbling some paint on it. That one's probably right off the page. Well, it's sort of on the page. Just want little patches of it. I guess I should probably cut this into smaller pieces so I could actually get more of a, it's not, guess where you're putting this kind of thing, if you know what I mean. I really like that. I have to admit, I really like that. Oh, I didn't even, not enough paint. Let's put more paint on that and do that again. Because oh yeah, so when I use this for backgrounds, that's definitely interesting. Definitely interesting. I don't know. Maybe it's just that spot. It's so thick, it's just not taking this. Let's try it again. Well, it's there, but it's very faint. I like it. I think I need something down at that corner. So this one I am considering done. I will trim it around the edges, and then I will flip it over and we will cut some tags or whatever out of it. See what we get. This one I am going to do these flowers. I'm just using that ugly brush. I'm just going to put flowers on randomly. Just in case I decide to cut some ATCs or whatever, these ones are going to be a little bit closer together. It might show more. Again, because these are paper stencils, and I'm not using a stencil brush or a sponge, my paint is going underneath that little bit. This is a background, so it's okay. It's okay for it to be ghosty. Thanks, Janet. These are one of my scribble stencils these are my own stencils. These are the ones I used on my chunky book. Well, maybe not exactly this one, but oops, it slipped. The stencil moved. Oh no. That's okay. Because, as I say, this is just backgrounds. I'm still going to be putting stuff on top of it, right? Thanks. I think so too. So I'm going to use this one now. You know, I was thinking that I should cut this, and instead of cutting out all the individual flowers, just have a sheet where just those are sticking out. Okay, what did I pick up that made this flower pink? Oh, probably what was on the stencil itself. I love to paint. Yeah. I have a Cricut. So I these were line drawings that I had done. So I imported them into Design Space and did them that way. Okay, this one is making things pink. Let's use something else. I'm going to use this one now. Again, I am just putting these down randomly. Whoops. That's way off. That's okay because it's a flower. You might think it's another petal. No stress. No stress crafting, guys. It's not a scan it and cut thing. It is one of those ones that you use for cutting vinyl and if you're doing t-shirts, etc. So it cuts vinyl, it cuts wood, it cuts um, plastic. It's got blades for a bunch of different things. It's called a Cricut. They have different sizes. There's an Explorer. There's mine is a Maker, so I can get different blades for it. I can get where I print and cut. Um, I don't like this one that much. Um, anyway, If you have even like a scan and cut, and again, this is just out of cardstock, I would gladly send you my images so that you could cut them and make your own stencils. That goes for anybody. If you would like them, shoot me a message. Yeah, different models and names. We should, Malia. We really should. Let's use this big one. Oh, I did use that big one. Is that one? That's that one. Let's use this one. Okay, as I was saying, just shoot me a message on Facebook or uh, Instagram or whatever, and I will gladly send you the images so that you can do your own stencils. Yeah, they are pricey. Well, then, how about if you send me your snail mail address and I can just send you some? But again, like I say, they're out of cardstock, so they're not as durable or as sturdy as plastic stencils, but that's okay because once you've used them, they build up enough paint. They make great, um, they're die cuts, is what they are. But I will gladly share. I don't mind sending some to you, Sherry. We really need to get together for coffee, and then I could just hand this stuff to you. This smoke stuff has to clear up, and then I will make a definite effort to come into Winnipeg, and we'll do coffee. You, me, and Barbara. Okay, I think one more here. Okay. This brush is getting uglier and uglier. I love it. You know what it's going to turn into. But yeah, Sherry, I can pop some in the mail too, hun. I think I need one more over here. Oh, it's never ending, guys. It's one of those never ending things. Little one here. Oh, I still have one more page to do. Ah, am I getting too carried away? Am I putting too many roses on here? Is there such a thing as too many roses? One more over here? Half of one, maybe? All right. Done with the roses. Again, that's a metallic white, so it's got a bit of a gloss to it. And we put all that purple metallic on as well. Okay, so that can go aside to dry. Now we have this one. What am I going to put on this one? I don't want to use those roses. Don't know that I want to do a honeycomb. Ideas, guys? Do. Thanks. What do we want to put on here? What about, how about if I did this with black earlier. I took a glue stick because it's got a nice round hearts. I don't know if I've got little heart stencils. Let's see. Let me see. That. Come out. What have I got? You guys are all stuck together. No. I've got big hearts. I don't have little hearts. I never did cut out little hearts. Those are way too big, I'm thinking. Get back on there. What about, let's move this because I'm going to put this down. Hearts. I might have, I do have. I've got more stencils, obviously. Oh, that doesn't want to play nice. I'm just going to throw this on the side, guys. Yeah, nope. No little hearts. No little hearts. Okay, let's see what I've got over here. This back. Whoops. You know, if I had, I betcha. Lots of alphabets. Sorry, I'm right here. I'm just flipping through all my stencils. You would think that I would have heart stencils. You really would. Lots of florally kind of things. Strange shapes. I'm looking. I have lots of stencils. Got stars. Let's do stars. Don't have hearts, but I have stars. Oh, there. Wait. I do have hearts. Ah. I have these hearts. Small fish? No, I I have lots of fish, but they're not stencils. They're all my wobble cuts. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do various blobs of hearts. Does that make sense? And I'm going to use the stencil brush. I found the hearts. I did. And I'm going to use a stencil brush. Sorry, Cal. I got hearts. The stencil isn't being held tight down for some reason. Plastic, it's probably because the paper is a little warped as well because it was so wet. Maybe the brush was still a bit wet too. Let's see. Bye, Joni. See ya. Thinking that the brush still had some water on it too from when I rinsed it. That's better. Much better. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We got it happening now, guys. Much better. So I think I have rescued these 3 gel prints. I'm pretty happy with the way they have turned out. Even if I've used different stencils on each of them, that's absolutely fine. But I used the same elements on all. It's still the white metallic. I have a friend coming over this evening. She's going to a 60s party on Saturday. And so she says, "You're the only one I thought I could ask. Do you have anything that I could wear?" Surprise! So I took pictures of a bunch of my stuff and sent them to her. So she's coming over this evening to do a fashion show to see what she might like to wear. Just I know I could count on you. I don't know if that's a good thing or not a bad thing or a bad thing. Does she know I'm a hoarder? I'm not really. Honest, I am not. Aside from craft supplies, I'm not a hoarder. Oh, and kitchen toys. I lied. I hoard kitchen toys as well. I had a lazy lunch that I didn't. I made some meal in a muffins. So they were in the freezer. So I had that for lunch today. just uses a bunch of leftovers, so it's a savory muffin. So these ones had ham and peas and carrots in it. I like to have that kind of thing in the freezer so that if we go on putt or if we're going fishing or whatever, I can just grab something that we can have quick to eat. How's that, guys? Yeah. This isn't a whole wheat muffin. It uses the white flour. It's got a lot of eggs. Calls for a lot of eggs. Cheese, like a white cheese, eggs, white cheese, leftover meat and vegetables, flour, baking powder. It's really easy. But it's not too eggy. You know what I mean? Holds it together nice. I've actually even made it. I've got a girlfriend that works with the homeless, and we've made them and take them. Okay, so I got mucky fingers. I apologize. It's just the way it goes around here. Some of you, I know it irritates. I apologize again. I'm going to go and dump this out, and I'm going to move this way over here so that it's not the way. And I'm going to pull my cutter up. Clean up the mess I made here. So I've got one of these things. I need more room on my desk for it. Let's get rid of the paint. Okay, you want to be on the floor? Be on the floor. If that's what you want, that's okay by me. More wet paint. Can move. All right. It's sort of on the desk. So you can sort of see what I'm doing. Does that work? No. It needs to be more on the desk. How about if I put it this way? Let's just stack more stuff up because I can. There we go. So you guys can see. I know. They get messy really quick. Oh, thanks, Belinda. I love to cook. I've done some catering. I taught cooking. It's fun. So, that one's still wet. Let's trim this one. Let's start by getting rid of this white space around the edges. I have an 8x10 gel plate. So, on a big sheet of copy paper like this, you know you're going to get white edges. Room is, it is. It is. Take it to there. Take it to there. So I've got one there. Look, I'm throwing stuff out, guys. I really like the way that turned out. I have to admit, that's so much better than it was. It's something I will be happy to use now. So again, I'm just taking off these white edges. And you can see I didn't print straight either. I don't know how some of these people can get exactly on their gel plate so that It lines up so nicely. Maybe it's a lack of patience. Okay, let's turn it over. I'm going to cut some 3.5. That's 3, 1, 2. No, 3, 1, 2. Needs to be at that line. Look at those mucky fingers. Yay! So those are going to be ATCs. I guess I'm not supposed to look at them yet, right? That's fabulous, Malia. Let's do these at 4 so I can have 3x4s. And okay, let's just do that already. I did that 3, right? Nope, that's. See, I need to pay attention to what I'm doing. Let's just cut that to the 3 now. Wow, did I cut that crooked or what? Oh, I did. Let's trim that edge because that is way wonky. Way wonky. Okay, so that one. Woo! No, that one's okay. Okay, so that's 4 inches across. I want 3 inches because I like my 3x4s. Those are 3x4. I've got this left. It is about 2 inches. Let's cut a couple of twinchies then. Two by two. Are you 2? Just a little. And that's pretty much 2x2 as well. It is. So I've got 2x2s, 3x4s. This was 3.5, I believe. 3.5. So I need to cut these 2.5 this way for ATCs. 2.5. Wasn't I supposed to be cutting tags? Well, I lied again. 1, 2.5. ATCs. How big are you? Little smidge over. Little strip left. That's going to go in the garbage. Now, what are you? You are. You know what? I'm just going to cut this like this, and those ones will be tags. Magic, just like that. So I've got tags. Look how pretty those are. Tags. These don't match up at all. Look, what are they supposed to be? Were those supposed to be 3x4? Ha. Anyway, I guess those are tags too because they don't. Beautiful twinchies. And these are going to be ATC backgrounds. I'm very happy with the way these turned out. These ones are going to just be tags. Okay, so flip it around because we're not supposed to see what we're cutting. Not that it really matters because let's start with 3.5 for ATCs. I'm going to use that all for tags. Oh, yeah. Pretty pleased with that. I have to admit, pretty darn pleased. Those are going to be lovely ATC backgrounds. Thanks. So if this is going to be tags, I am just going to, do I want big, long tags? Let's do one big, long. And we'll cut this one in half-ish this way. Those are going to be tag backgrounds. I might even do one of my florals on those. These are tags. Now for this one. This one is done on cardstock. Let's just trim that piece of napkin off. The problem with this is the hearts are going one way, so they can only go one way. This has inches. This is an inch grid thing. So I want 3.5 inches. Those are going to be ATCs. And let's do them at 2.5. I like those. I have to admit, I really like those. I think I'm pretty happy with the way all of these turned out. I have this little bit. I'm going to save that. I'll use that as a tag. These are my ATCs, ATC backgrounds. Oh, am I glaring? Sorry, guys. And this is going to just be tags. So I'm going to cut it in half-ish. 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 And then I'm just going to do it in roughly 3. Not measuring, just lopping. So those will be tag backgrounds. Oh, these tags are going to have to go this way because that's the way the hearts go. So they're going to be different kind of tags. Let's check these. These hearts go this way, so we're just going to make sure that they're going to go long and narrow for these. Just so that the hearts are going in the right direction. There. So these ones will be going this way because the hearts are in the right orientation. Perfect. So I have a stack of tags, ATCs, and a couple of twinchies. Yay! I'm very pleased that they turned out that way. You know, sometimes you putz and putz and putz and putz, and they just don't come nice. You know? Doesn't matter what you do to them, they just don't come nice. That is a Fiskars. That is a Fiskars. Got it at Michael's when they had a 40% off coupon. So it's definitely Fiskars. Yeah, I love it too. I love it too. All right. So, ATCs. I really like these twinchies. How many of you guys make twinchies? And what do you like to put on your twinchies and dinchies? Anyone? Am I the only one that makes the G's and twinchies? Yeah. Well, that's 3 sheets of paper, right? So that's going to be, and I don't know if they're all going to go in the same journal or not. Usually I just make them, I put them in my bin, and then when I'm stuffing my journals, I just grab whatever happens to fit. I just dropped a piece on the floor, and here it is. Thank you very much, Malia. I appreciate you doing that. Yeah, I don't often buy okay, let's correct that. I will buy cutters, um, blades, name brand things because I like good tools, but other supplies, I like my Crayolas, etc. Right? I just see. I should have cut some bows and stuff too. Those would have made lovely bows. Oh, nice, Beth. Welcome, welcome. Nice to see you. I was trying to fix up some ugly gel prints, and I managed it. I think I'm going to do like my floral cards on these. Buttons, eyelets, and sequins. Yeah. Normally I like doing like a patchwork and then something on it, but I really like these backgrounds, so I don't know. Maybe I'll just put like a little cat cutout or something. Or maybe just like a single flower with some leaves, small tassels. Yes. Yeah, you really need good quality stuff when it comes to cutting. Like these are dollar store scissors. They're fine because I use them on fabric, I use them on paper. I bought lots of them because um, I was teaching. So I always had to have a big supply. So I've got them all over the house. Small tassels, paper clip flag. That would be cute. Hmm. I'm or even some hand stitching would be nice. Or even like some of my bows, my paper bows, just a small paper bow. Much smaller than that. I've used all my small bows because I put them on my chunky book. Stitching the buttons, yeah. But yeah, I've used all my small bows on my chunky book. Yes, stitching. Because I love the way these twinchies turned out, Cal. I was thinking maybe some stitching on, or I don't know. How old is Freddie, Janet? He sure seems to have a lot of energy. 6? Oh, that's a nice age. That's a lovely age. They're calm usually. They've got their manners in place. Oh, that's really annoying, and that could be really dangerous too, Belinda. Some stitched leaves, maybe? Yeah. But because it's just copy paper, I think what I would do is I would back it with cardstock before I stitched, and then still have to put another backing on it unless I just glued them straight into book like that. And even if they were just outlined, and not necessarily satin stitch or anything. That's a good idea. Definitely a good idea. I could do some stitching on these ones as well. Have any of you done embroidery on window screen? I know, I'm all over the place today. We're talking stitching now. My sister has one of those fancy dancy embroidery sewing machines, and she's done bugs on window screen and used it like on her patches on her purses and that kind of thing. So I was wondering if any of you had done hand stitching, because it would be almost the same as using like a Ada cloth or whatever, because or cross stitch on it. I think doing some embroidery on window screen would be absolutely incredible to use in some of our stuff. Throwing it out there. Anybody done it? No? Hmm. I think it could be very interesting. I think it'd be really cool if you could stitch or even um, beaded a butterfly onto some window screen. That could be an incredible cover. Or even if you even had it like in an embroidery hoop. Cal, do you think doing hand embroidery? Oh, you could use anything to stitch on, but I think that on window screen, because I paint on my window screens, right? Like I did my front door, it's got a sunset scene on it and palm trees and stuff. I'm thinking though that if I did some hand stitching on it, like some butterflies or I don't know what, that it could be real ladybugs. Could you imagine little stitched ladybugs on your window screen? I know that you're not a bug person, but I think ladybugs could be very cute on a window screen. So I think I'm going to go and look through the shop when I can go out there. Or I can ask Ron if he's got a small bit of screen that I could play with. But some of the window screen, like the nylon window screen, is very fine, Cal. I'm not sure that. I think you would have to use embroidery floss. Well, plastic canvas, so many people embroider on plastic canvas, right? Like it's like needlepoint canvas. But I'm thinking, so if you could do something, take say, yeah, a cross stitch pattern or one that you use on plastic canvas or even just a regular needlepoint pattern and put it on window screen, I think that could be really cool. Just throwing that out there. I'm just thinking that, it would just be, it would probably be like doing petty point instead of needlepoint, right? Like petty point uses really, really fine canvas and what is it, half the size of needlepoint canvas? A quarter the size? I don't know. Anyway, I'm throwing that out there. Random thoughts of Kim. You know how I jump all over the place, right? I've got all these little cat noses here. I've got stuff, guys. I have to do stuff with my stuff. I hadn't. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. You know how it goes. I'm keeping signatures beside me so that when I've got leftover paint like that, I can just add stuff so that it's not a waste of paint. Got a few signatures. Hey, Janet, welcome. How about if I use this and the hearts? Do some. I know, Cal, sorry. Just don't want to waste the paint. See, just a couple little hearts at the bottom of the page. I have petty point is like needle point. It's the same half cross stitch, the diagonal stitch, but it's done on a much finer canvas. And it's done with embroidery floss or fine threads instead of yarn or wool like you would use on needlepoint. I had done some birds out of petty point. And my mom framed them and had them at the cottage, and then my sister took them after Mom passed. They're very pretty. Oh, that spot's there. I can add some. Just adding random blue hearts on this because I've got the blue paint and the stencil out. Like I say, I'm going to be doing this more often now. I'm keeping a couple of signatures on my desk so that I can just do these little embellishing bits with leftovers. Does that make sense? That one is just paper. Whoops. Oh, it moved. Darnation. I just, I waste so much paint. Like, I had so much black on there. I added black to darn near every journal that I have available right now. And it's just fun, it's just nice to use. And it adds that little bit of a hand touch too, right? That whimsy, right? It just adds that little bit of whimsy. And it goes fast. That needs a whole something. I used yellow paint in that honeycomb thing on this. Okay. I've done hearts. Let's do a flower. Oh, see? You don't go in there. You stay out here. You stay on the desk. Because I use you. So what else have you guys been up to? Are you working on any specific journals? I know Malia's been doing that scrapbook scrap paper book. It's absolutely fabulous. If any of you get a chance to take a look at that scrapbook that she just did. Malia, are you still here, hon? Can you pop that mini video that you just did about your using scrap papers up in that book that you did? Yeah. Cathedral Window Granny Square? Cool. Let me know. We'll do it. Shoot me the link. Yeah, that's Malia's short for the she's doing a great job using up scraps of whatever. Kind of like my bits book, but she's using long strips. Okay, Cal, perfect. Perfect. So as I say, I just keep little stencils on my desk, whatever, and I just add to my journals randomly. Yeah, one more thing to say. But you know what? You're using them as you go. I have bins of that stuff. Absolutely crazy amount of bins of that stuff. Must stop moving the stencil when you're working on it. Seriously, what is your problem? What I have done in the past with bits too, it's almost like a snippet rule. I take strips of brown packing paper, things that come wrapped in brown packing paper. So that's scrap bits of things that I've had. And I used to just keep strips on my desk and just add to it. This is another one. I did them all on diagonals and then doodled. And that's like the first one, but I added paint. So, because when I was teaching, we always ended up with bits on the desk. So I provided everybody with a canvas at the end or at the beginning of the class, and everything that was left on the desk, thread, toothpicks, whatever, they had to glue down to the canvas. And then after the last day of the workshop, they painted it all one solid color and then highlighted it with some gold paint and whatever. All the leftover bits. Yeah, I had a lot of fun. It just never ends, though. I've had these kicking around for quite a few years, and I don't know what I'm going to do with them. I mean, I have used some for tag backs, but they're pretty darn busy. And I guess they could be snippet rolls, except that they're really stiff because some of this is cardstock. These are just all leftover bits of gel prints. Some are doodled on, some are not. So, I mean, I use my bits most of the time, but I still end up with so many bits. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. They would. Journal spine, definitely. See, I never thought of that. Never thought of that. Thank you. My next journal, I will have to do that. Really? That's awesome. So is it painty papers as well as like from the old books, Malia? Wow. What a great idea. I might have to do that. I might have to do that too because seriously, I have crazy loads of bits. Crazy loads of bits. Okay, I have questions for you guys. I'm kind of running out of ideas to play with you guys. Surprise! Kim's running out of ideas. Oh no. Um, I think it's because I'm really focusing on getting my garden in and the processing of my veggies, etc., etc. Plus, we've got the baseboards and door frames and window frames cut and sanded, and I primed them yesterday, so I have to paint those. Um, I've got a lot of other stuff happening. I'm running out of ideas, but if you guys have a thought of what you would like me to do with you on Friday, I'm not sure if Jean is back or not, but I would love some ideas. You know, wow, it's one of those lights that you go under it and it goes on and off. I can. I could do um, washi paper things with you guys. I could do more ugly gel print uses. What would you like? New collection, use them on a larger cloth. These? I certainly could use them on a larger collage. Did I just get blue paint all over that? Surprise, surprise. I don't normally do big collages. Oh, it's from back a day? She's hilarious. I love watching her. Anyway, um, I do things like this is my doodle book. Are you my doodle book? You're my doodle. This is my bits and doodle book. So I just glue all my bits down, but I glue on both sides and then I doodle and I just keep adding bits and that kind of thing. I could do that. Tags and ATCs out of today's prints, definitely. Okay, I will do that on Friday. Thanks, Malia. But so this was a home hardware flyer catalog thing. And for a while, I was really good about taking all the leftover bits from my desk and putting them in here so that I had something to doodle on. Back a Day is a crochet site. So, anyway, I was really good about that, but it needs to be doodled now. I don't have much bare spaces left. Anyway, so I do use my bits in collages like this, or I use them in, like I did the clusters. I have a cluster book that I'm working on. Thanks, Janet. Seriously, all these little leftover, like inchies and this kind of thing, after you've cut something out, I just glue them randomly. And then I just spend time doodling. And I don't know what I'm going to do with it. It's just an ongoing thing that I can just take with me, so I've got something to play with, right? But this is my cluster book. So I like the flat clusters. I can just rip and go. These are very plain, but I can always add something to them. What do I like to do that I haven't done in a while? Beading. I haven't done any beading for a while. Awesome, Belinda. Thank you. Um, this is all. I like doing all of this, Belinda. So anyway, I've got this cluster book that I'm playing with. I tore this one out because somebody asked, "Well, what do you do with them?" And I just showed them how I tore. But I like them. I'd like to try and keep these flat so that they're not going to take up much space. Yeah, I can add sequins or whatever. I do slow stitch. I've done your tassels. I've done your tassels a few times. These are the ones that I did this week. I just glued the sequins down because there was so much stinking glue holding the velvet on that I couldn't get a needle through it. But I'm working on the cluster book. I'll show you the beading that I'm working on right now. It's another carry and go thing. I'm doing heart, a beaded heart. You can see the heart outline. I know, Cal, it's a heart. What else do I do? I knit, I crochet. I just play. But yeah, I've done your I've done your tassels. I love your tassels. I love your tassels. I just have so much fun doing them. I actually did them on not last Friday, Friday before with Jean Peter. I just love the tassels. Absolutely love the tassels. Oh, thank you, Janet. I did one in purple. That one sold. One of those hearts, beaded hearts. I've got a few more. It's in a box over there. Two-second demo on using a piece of paper to make a buttonhole to attach a button to a twinchy. Okay. This one, where you take a circle and you fold it in four, and you poke a hole so that they'll all be equal, all four of them. Is that the one? So you punch out a circle, or you cut a circle, or you trace a circle, you fold it in four, or even two, if you just need a double buttonhole. I like to do it in 4. And then you can use any round bit of paper to make paper buttons. Does that make sense? So I do slow stitching. That is upstairs with all my, because that's the kind of thing I like taking out to the greenhouse and sitting in the greenhouse and slow stitching and stuff. No, I fold it in 4, and then I poke one hole through all 4 layers, right? So that when you open it up, they're all equal from the center. Does that make sense, Belinda? Yeah, one hole through all 4 layers. And then you can make all kinds of paper buttons. And I like doing the buttons out of a heavier piece of paper, more like a cardstock, unless you're just gluing it flat down. And then I do put thread through it. Okay, so Friday, we're going to do these ATCs and tags. Not sure that we'll get them all done, but that will be Friday. Oh, button flowers. Yeah. Wouldn't that be pretty? I think I've done that. Or actually, what I've done is I've got circles that I had painted on, like painted a flower on, and then I turned that into a button. I've got them someplace. And then once you've got like this template, right? You've got this template, then you can just put it over whatever you want and just poke the holes in. Button flowers would be beautiful. You could turn anything into a button kind of thing, though. These bows, you could put holes in them and make buttons out of the bows. Or even like it just in the center where the knot would be. Just do some stitching in there. Yeah, DMC floss, that would be very pretty. Very pretty. Awesome. Well, we've got the plan for Friday. It's going to be the tags and those and the Twinchies. I think that's about it for today. I'm running out of ideas. Seriously. Well, I've got ideas. It's, you know how it goes. So I appreciate you guys all for being here. I really appreciate you guys for being here. I appreciate your thoughts and sharing of ideas, throwing ideas at me to try something different because I really appreciate that. Because sometimes you get in a rut, right? And things just seem to be the same over and over and over. So I love the fact that you guys throw ideas at me, try this. I'm always willing to try something. And yeah. Thank you guys all. Take care. Shaz, if you want these stencils, or if anybody else wants these stencils, shoot me a message and I'll either, you just tell me if you want the images so that you can cut them yourself, or if you want the stencils themselves, let me know. And that's it. I hope I have inspired you guys to create something. It's all play, it's relaxing. No stress. It's paper. You don't like it, toss it. Or if you, sometimes if it's a whole print, don't toss it. Play and make it better. And on that note, thanks again. Take care, everyone. See you Friday. Bye now.